Nice to see you. Thanks for joining me today. Today's really just about finding out about the fact that you are a trustee, finding out a little bit about yourself for people that may be thinking about applying for a trustee position with Key in the future. So I just wanted to start by asking about you, really, and if you could just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, I'm Anne-Marie Bancroft. I'm a trustee at Key, and I've been a trustee for, this might be corrected, 4 years at Key.
That's wonderful. And so just thinking about the trustee role with Key then, what was it that sort of prompted you to get involved?
So I volunteered quite a lot of my life. I've done a variety of types of volunteering, and when I first had my children, I stopped volunteering for a period of time, and I didn't. So then I got on with my career, and I didn't quite know what to do to get back into volunteering and where I could best serve an organisation in a way that suited me as well. So volunteering with Key was one of the key things that really attracted me. It was a case of trying to find a way of using my time in a way that can actually help an organisation run, which was really fantastic. So that's the main reason. Obviously, Key itself, so that was the main reason from a voluntary perspective.
Yeah.
But Key itself, my view has always been is that it's an organisation that really provides all those social impact activities. So they really make a change to communities, people's lives. And it's really nice to even have a small part of being part of an organisation that does that. So yeah, that's kind of the reason I chose to get involved in Key.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And good on you doing all that volunteering. Don't know how you find the time, to be honest, with 2 children and dog and a
Well,
cat and fish.
well, the only thing I do now is Key. So it doesn't take a huge amount of my time, but it does take a lot of your brain. I think that's
Yeah.
probably the thing, is you think about Key more than you actually do Key.
Yes.
So generally, like the amount of work, so to speak, that goes in with Key would be turning up to trustee meetings that on average every 6 to 8 weeks, and then also reading board packs, effectively scrutinising things that come through, really looking at things with a bit of a cynical head. It's quite difficult, but that is nice to put my cynicism to good practice.
Yeah.
So having a look at things through a bit of a cynical head, and hopefully being able to make a difference and improve people's lives just by the way that we shape the strategy, shape plans, hopefully improve people's lives. That's the key.
Yeah, and you're absolutely doing that, you along with all our other wonderful trustees. 4 years you said you've been a trustee now. What has that given you, do you think, sort of personally and professionally?
From a personal perspective, I've always had a view of that you've only got so many years on this earth, and how can you make a positive change while you're here. So Key is definitely one of the things where I feel like this is 100% positive change. The activity I do with Key is changing people's lives all the time, and that's really, that's what a wonderful way to spend your life. From a professional experience element, some of the things that I found in my previous roles is that organisations and people tend to hold on to strategy, vision, those kinds of things, tend to sit in really senior leadership roles. And when I applied to Key, I wasn't in a hugely senior leadership role, so I didn't have a real understanding of what a good strategy would look like, what good vision and values would look like. So those kind of things I was able to develop through Key. And from a professional perspective, really understanding that how organisations work. So although Key is a large charity, it's run by quite a small cohort of people, as in through the board and the management. It's run by a small group of people, but really understanding how that dynamic works between a board and the leaders who are running organisations, really understanding that has really served me well in my career.
Yeah.
And it's helped me really understand some of the things that need doing, and some of the changes that are needed elsewhere, because sometimes I think I occasionally in my professional life will go back to Key and say, if I was at Key, what would I think?
Yes.
And there's nothing quite like the feeling of having responsibility, and it's proper responsibility being a trustee, having the responsibility of making sure a charity's run well and meeting its aims and ambitions. I think, there's nothing quite like that in comparison to, any role I've ever done doesn't compare to to the responsibility that's on my lap at Key. So yeah, really enjoyed it so far though.
Oh, that's wonderful. And if anyone was listening or watching now and they were thinking, ooh, Key have got a trustee opportunity, should I apply? What would you say?
Definitely go for it. It's something that doesn't take as much. I think some of the barriers people worry about is, am I going to say the wrong thing?
Yeah.
Key's a very safe place and you generally can't really say the wrong thing.
Yeah.
You're welcome to share your opinion and it's a very safe environment for you to share your opinion and say what you think. And then the other thing I think people worry about is, what if I don't know? When I started I had very little understanding of the Charity Commission, very little understanding of finances, how organisations are run and financed. I remember in my first meeting sitting and making a decision on the CEO's pay and thinking, oh my gosh, I can't believe I've got this responsibility so suddenly. But I think that one of the things about Key, and as long as you've got that same set of values as Key, of we want to serve communities, we want to make people's lives better. Generally, as long as you can bring it back to that and you have a think about that through everything that you look at, even if that is financial accounts or if that's a case of a paper about lone workers, all those things, as long as you can bring it back to that, you're not really going to go too wrong. So yeah, I think quite a lot of the time people will get put off by a lot of terminology, our corporate plan, our strategies and our vision and our values, and they always get complicated, and things like our governance structure and our board appraisals, all those things get really complicated. But in fact, those aren't the things that Key's after you to do. Key is actually after your head on your shoulders and that emotional intelligence that you have. So if you've got those two elements, a little bit of common sense and quite a lot of emotional intelligence and a bit of understanding of how what the organisation works for and what it's like, what the charity sector is a little bit like, then you're never going to go too far. You're probably already 90% there. Everything else can be probably trained. I mean, I've been trained a lot of times on finance all the time. People do have to go very back to basics with me, and I'm confident with that now.
Yes,
yes. Now.
And that's the thing, isn't it? Everyone's got their strengths to bring, and as you say, having a dynamic, sort of diverse team of people to share ideas, and ultimately, if everyone's there for the same reason, as you say, supporting the individuals and the families and the communities, then ultimately that's what it's about, isn't it? Yeah. That's brilliant, Anne-Marie. Thank you so much. It's been lovely to catch up with you today. I look forward to catching up with you again very soon.
Oh, take care, Jane.
Bye.